This is Camnet News. My name is Sharon Kalimula. Thank you so much for joining us. We look at the top stories on our desk. UPND members are scared to challenge HH as he goes unopposed for the presidential bid. Nothing strange about Zambia's Eurobond default, charges EDITH NAWAKWI. And ZEMA launches investigations into the illegal medical waste disposal in Chilenge. In international news, violent attacks devastate farms in northwest Nigeria. And in sports news, athletes leave for Tokyo 2020 Paralympic sports in Dubai. Join me shortly for the details.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Once again, welcome to our news. The details. The Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA and the Lusaka City Council LCC have launched investigations to find out who was disposing hazardous medical waste in Lusaka's Chilenge area. On Thursday, Health Minister Jonas Chanda directed relevant authorities to collect the medical waste which was dumped at an illegal dump site at the old Chilenge cemetery after citizens raised concerns. And on Saturday, the Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA and the Lusaka City Council conducted an operation to remove the healthcare waste and the garbage to mitigate possible health and environmental issues. ZEMA Acting Public Corporate Communications Manager Friday Piri has assured that they will put in place measures to avoid the reoccurrence of the incident. Here's a report.
This is an operation by ZEMA and the Lusaka City Council responding to a call to restore sanity at an area that has been identified as a dumping site for hazardous healthcare waste by some unknown health centers. Medical waste is a source of generation of hazardous biomedical waste. According to the World Health Organization, centers including hospitals, clinics, and places where diagnosis and treatment are conducted generate wastes that is highly hazardous and put people under risk of fatal diseases. On Sunday, Camnet TV exposed an irregularity in the disposition of healthcare waste at an illegal dump site by the old Chilenge cemetery, where some health centers have been ignoring right procedures of disposing hazardous waste. This matter also attracted the attention of Health Minister Dr. Jonas Chanda, who called for quick intervention.
The Director, Clinical Services, work with the provincial health directors, the district health directors, and the heads of these facilities to ensure that we don't have a repeat of such, and that is what we expect. And also institutions like ZEMA, the Zambia Environmental Management Authority, should work very closely with the Minister of Health, including the Public Health, Director Public Health at Lusaka City Council and all councils. Government does not work in silos, it works in an integrated manner. The local authorities, ZEMA, the Minister of Health, all working together with the public and the media, of course, the fourth estate in a democracy.
And ZEMA Acting Manager for Corporate Affairs, Friday Piri, has assured that they will put in place measures to avoid the reoccurrence of the incident.
We will work with the council. Of course, the council is in charge of the dump sites and the managing of solid waste with the passing of the Solid Waste Management Act number 20 of 2018. So as a result of that, the larger responsibility of managing general waste in the country falls with the local authority. But of course, we come in as an agency, as a supervisory body, because everything environment is our baby. So especially now with the hazardous waste that we've seen here being dumped, we will work with the council to ensure that this place is secure. We need to come up with long-term solutions. The council will need to devise those kinds of measures to ensure that because this dumping obviously happens in the night. So to ensure that that does not happen, the council and ourselves will have to work in conjunction with them to ensure that long-term solutions are found for this. Otherwise, we don't want a repeat of this.
This activity could not go without an appreciation from the concerned residents of Chilenje Township.
Morning, all Chilenje residents, maybe Captain Wakulibala, Captain Wakuti, Banamuta Pakamanda. Once Tizamguirani, law visit you. We are warning you. We are happy. We are very happy. Please, if my waste material from my hospitals, please, the government. We thank you so much, Council.
So our concern is that I think the council should put things in place so that they make sure that these people should stop dumping rubbish from here. And it's a concern to us because you can see there are things which they are dumping here which are very expensive to dispose of, like these surgical gloves and other things. So it's a concern to us who stay nearby here. So the council should put things in place that they should make sure that these people, by all means, are discouraged of dumping rubbish on this area.
Securing the environment is not about the government, but a collective commitment. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Well, it must be noted that this story was first reported by Camnet TV, and we're glad that the authorities have responded to the call of the residents. Moving on in the news, the United Party for National Development, UPND, has declared its leader, Hakainde Hichilema, as the presidential candidate for the party in the 2021 general elections. UPND chairman for elections, Gary Nkombo, has confirmed that President Hichilema is the only candidate who filed his nomination to contest as president of the party during the just-ended intra-party nominations. Mr. Nkombo says the fact that Mr. Hichilema remains unopposed means that the party members have confidence in his leadership, which will see the party emerge victorious in the August 2021 general elections. And Mr. Nkombo says the party has engaged civil society for Constitution Agenda SESCA to monitor its party elections to ensure they are conducted in line with the party's constitution. Prudence Chota filed this report.
The road to the 2021 general elections is tapering, and the political atmosphere is getting charged as more people are now expressing interest in contesting for various political positions. However, the United Party for National Development, UPND, has today, 6th February 2021, closed its door for nominations for all aspirants eyeing to contest on the party ticket for all leadership positions. The party has since declared its party leader, Hakainde Hichilema, as the sole president of the party after being the only candidate who expressed interest in contesting as a party president. And UPND chairman for elections, Gary Nkombo, says the UPND party has confidence in the leadership of its president, Hakainde Hichilema, who is keen to leading the party into victory come August 2021.
As stated by the commission, we have only one candidate who is aspiring to be the president of our party. And therefore, allow me to state in no uncertain terms that Mr. Hichilema Hakainde is the only candidate that has crossed the bridge. The only candidate that has crossed the bridge called nomination.
And in order to ensure that the party lives within the confines of its constitution, Mr. Nkombo says the party has engaged an independent civil organization, SESCA, to monitor its party activities as the party prepares to have its convention on 14th February 2021.
As a party, in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic and also our own Constitution, which states that we will have periodic intra-party elections that will be observed by independent, credible, and eminent persons, we as a party did approach. As I said, on the 28th, we approached 3 individuals and requested them to rise to the occasion and come and assist us. So they're here not as UPND members, but as representatives of the civil society organizations.
And CISCA chairperson Pamela Chisanga has appealed to other political parties to follow suit and consider engaging independent organizations to monitor the compliance levels of political parties to their constitutions.
We volunteer to be invited to any political party that would want us to go and oversee or observe their electoral processes within the political parties. So we are open and ready to do that as a civil society organization. Let me also just add that we are doing this on a voluntary basis. We are not going to be paid for coming here, and for any other political party that wants us, we will be able to avail ourselves at no cost at all, because this is our role as civil society, and we are happy to play that. And we do hope that by being here, we can also be able to set a precedent for other political parties to do similar things in terms of opening up their intra-party processes to other civil society organizations. It may not necessarily be CISCA, but the idea is that we as citizens should be able to participate in the governance processes of this country.
Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, UPND youths on the Copper Belt have endorsed a new Copper Belt chairman to replace the late Ronald Manenga, who died in a road traffic accident. Representing the youths, Kitwe District Youth Chairman Boas Kapata says Copper Belt is confident that the man endorsed to take up the position will advance the ideologies of the United Party for National Development. He says the youths will give him the support he needs to champion the democratic tenets in the party and the country at large.
After the demise of our able chairman, Honorable Ronald Manenga, may he so rest in peace, we as Kitwe District, we have come up with a decision to ensure that the vacancy of the position youth under Copper Belt must be occupied now. We therefore, with wide consultation, indeed they have come up with our chairman to succeed our able chairman, Ronald Manenga, may he so rest in peace. We have seen the attributes, the ability, and indeed the confidence that the incoming chairperson by the name of Daniel Kamenga from Mfulira. The love that he has showed to the party, the time that he has rendered to the party, and indeed the confidence he has given us the power and the confidence ourselves to endorse him as our new provincial youth chairperson. It is indeed only Daniel Kamenga who advanced the idea, the ideology of the Copper Belt youths.
Former Finance Minister EDITH NAWAKWI says Zambia's default on the payment of Eurobonds is nothing strange, adding that it has been happening to many countries world over. In an interview with Camnet TV in Lusaka Saturday, Ms. NAWAKWI says Zambia will continue to have a poor economy if it does not change its strategy of resource mobilization. Ms. NAWAKWI, who is also Opposition Forum for Democracy and Development (FDD) leader, explains that agriculture is the only solution to improving Zambia's fiscal space. She notes that the world is at its lowest, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, which she says has hit people badly, especially those in rural areas. She says Zambia needs to pull back from the whole of international financing, stating that food trade is the answer. Zambia has for the second time defaulted in the repayment of loans as announced by Finance Minister last year. Let's look at this.
Finance Minister, when we had $0 in the treasury and we had been defaulting for years. I want you to take the background of where we are from where we came from. I don't know why you didn't ask that question when we were here. No, it's okay. It's okay. And therefore, you take the backdrop of where we are coming from and where we are now. And pick one country in the world, UK, Italy, Ireland, America. Pick one country which is balancing their budget. None. None. We as a world are at the lowest ebb in our times. And as Zambians, let us sit down and say, what is our next 5 years going to look like? And my brother here says you are quiet. I want you to know that I've been in the villages. As you see me here, I know that this corona pandemic has hit villagers to the extreme. You go in the villages, you find that people are eating kanunka. I went to Nakonde, I found my relatives they eat kanunka as a vegetable. It's a good vegetable, but it's a wild vegetable. And so what do we do as a human being who understands what has to be done? I know that agriculture is a solution. So what we've done at a very small level as a party, we've been shipping bean seed to the north. Because just a 10-kilogram bag of beans, a farmer can reap 6, which is 300 kg. And that is a startup.
Scores of women in Bahati's Nyamuna village swung into action to have a glimpse of their former Member of Parliament, Harry Kalaba, who is now Democratic Party president. Women lamented to Mr. Kalaba that it was not fair for him to abandon his electorate unceremoniously. This came to light when Harry Kalaba visited a funeral house in Bahati constituency. Addressing the residents, most of which were women, Mr. Kalaba says he insists that he resigned as a Member of Parliament due to what he termed as corruption in the ruling party. He reminded the people of Bahati to consider giving him a vote in the August 12, 2021 election if indeed they miss his work. Meanwhile, Mr. Kalaba also took advantage of the moment to discourage the residents of Bahati to desist from marrying off their children at a tender age.
Namana MP necharo chanjishwa the whole Zambia banji mulandu wenu kuno nomba bantu kalaba aleka kwa wano kumucheve kalaba alekele o kalaba atu alukila nshami alukile ine inana alekele bantu namuno kutila ubuchenjeshi balungu newe na baletere kuno balungu tamwabe shibe konde na baletere kuno balungu naleta kuno balungu no kubipa na bipa bangalukira balungu bamala kwati bena bachenjela nomba pungu atasakamana tena kwa 2021 ino ni 2021 na ifika tulemwe nanga bale kusumuka kabinenyisa nimwine pabo kunonomba nimwine pabo yero nde mipapa ngani muno mwene bumaza muno awone tu papa adi kala be mutre kwa 2021 adi kala ba
Iyo bafuma mu kutungurushi barirande mirandu yonse yo bafuma. Atubana amfuri. Aba bare kitanga baba tukutuletere fintu. Fintu. Aba bafumi hapo. Impia sida bale bonfia. Nefia kwa twese bechemse bechara fuma mu itumba lyabo. Fyonse twarishiba. Tekwe bati aba bari birena ngucyarishani abo bale kale fya kumunandu wafufu. Kuba bari nabo abo bale bomba na bene.
Chipata Mayor Sinoya Mwali has urged motorbike operators in the district to remain alert every time they are operating, as most of them have become victims of theft. Mr. Mwali explains that in the past months the district has recorded a lot of murder cases involving motorbike operators as thieves take advantage of them. Speaking in an exclusive interview, the Chipata mayor indicated that the local authority in the area has continued to sensitize them on the dangers of operating after 18 hours. He has since advised them to abide by the measures that have been put in place to protect them from being attacked by criminals.
Bicycles, they are not vulnerable per se in terms of mobility, but now people have become vulnerable, those who are in motorbikes. For the last months, we have seen a lot of people being murdered. Thieves are taking advantage of them. And we have also continued sensitizing them, but just after 18 hours, they should stop their business because they are running them as they are operating as, we call them, I don't know if a motorbike can also be called a taxi. That's how they are operating them now. And a number of them, the motorbikes are not registered. If we can invite the people who are in this business of selling motorbikes so that we can engage them, that the best way to do is, as you are selling, you should also help in terms of registering their motorbikes, because they have been murdered and a lot of people they have been disturbed in terms of robberies in Chipata. When you get statistics from the police, I'm sure even lads are here, they have the information.
Ono Savings and Credit Association has suspended payments and refunds to its members until further notice. Ono Director Isaac Mvola explains that the money is stuck in loans that members have borrowed awaiting collection. Mr. Mvola says the resumption of payments and refunds will only depend on the collection of loans to members that borrowed from the institution. He notes that the money stuck in loans is enough to clear Ono's existing membership, assuring the public that the institution is going nowhere until it clears. And Mr. Mvola also confirms fears that some people owing the Ono could have paid double, citing pressure that they were receiving to refund the savings to the community. Mr. Mvola was speaking when he appeared on Bita FM's radio program to explain why the suspension of payments has been done. Ono Savings and Credit Association started refunding its clients as directed by the law enforcement agencies, among them the Drug Enforcement Commission, that Ono should start refunding its clients in 3 months starting December 2020. Let's look at this.
We do not have records, so you can just go there, you'll be paid. You can even go back, they will still pay you. But I think it is a warning to our members. This is a warning to our members. If we check our records, if you were owing us before the closure and you have come for the payment, we'll surely come back to you because our records are there and they are clear. So this is one thing we want to tell our members. Yes, Mr. Pandu, because we have paid people twice. Because looking at the pressure, when people started coming up, we started just getting the cards without verifying who is owing us and who is not. And this is the time now when we close, when we suspend the payment, we'll strictly go through our records. And once you are found wanting, I think he will surely take an action.
You're watching Camnet News. Stay with us for more interesting stories.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant Save Nations to Develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown. And we are proud to be one of those.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying on. Twins of Lusaka's Kanyama compound have accused their biological mother of mistreating them every time she gets drunk. 15-year-old Helen and Ashley Chewe have alleged that ever since they started living with their mother, she has made them go through pain as she always insults and chases them from the house. The twins narrated to Camnet TV in an exclusive interview that their mother sometimes undresses in front of them and allegedly tells them that this is where they came from. The twins, who reported the matter to concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights, are seeking financial assistance so that they can travel back to Copperbelt, where the auntie lives. They reiterated that she informed them that her hatred towards them is because their father divorced her and married another woman. Let's listen in.
bamuko bambiro kwebo ubushwati ati instead mute mwabana banje mfata abakulu badazi benu kujya efashira kena tate mfata abana abadazi ne nalikula na benu okufira okubafurire batula kishobushikubonse batula our day in the fire today na again of fire chef gain day na sa romba na again bra ta kan shi mun tore ko wina again afiko kwa mwe shi fire shi mu fire ona pasha ni funa ko panga nda okay bo sabi na lana kula dazo ni skenda pe shobu fi ati yo mulawero bushuna lala ma so that this cream mu ikasambira dazo ndakare ko kumileta na support okonomba bashira futa shira bako futa ndata anyway it's okay only God knows okonomba bambire kushato kula tupati abantu bamba no kwita abantu bambo kula kanense ofura babantu ati nko kula to bako mofune no kubale fula.
Meanwhile, Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights Operations Manager Frederick Liteta has expressed sadness about this matter.
Of children who need much attention. They've been mistreated by their biological mother just because the parents did a separation where the father is in Kokobeo to one ship. So here the mother remained here with the stepfather who has no say to the mistreat here. So what we have seen is that we need well-wishers who can come and maybe try to help them find money to use as transport, roughly 400 kwacha for them to get to their father, who is very much around and is even working.
Still in community news, a man of Lusaka has been dragged to a community victim support unit in Kanyama for failing to provide for his two children. Masho Chingombe, a general worker who claims to be sending 200 kwacha to Qatar for food and school fees for his two children on a monthly basis, was left in shame after his wife denied ever receiving any support from him. Let's look at this.
Na mkazi futi pa nyumba na mwana naenda funga kuja naende tosa mwenzinga naende yosi kama ndio chosa na digawanisa naende futi na nifunga kuja.
To him, times are hard and the economy is bad. Providing more than 200 kwacha every month as support for his two children, says is a challenge. However, his ex-wife and in-law claim that he does not provide any assistance to his children.
Since what mwana omozi aliuku mwana omozi alikuja kwa mai wake tumena dabula manini ninizo atwana bosi babi bali kwa mai wake ninizo bilai
ndasani kushabashikunda pakati mukani kuishiba cyabana umwana ali nkongo umwana ali bashikunda kunganda kumyandika mpita ko kusamkumana kumata
ine singa ninizo batibana bali kucha bayona kamba mai wao matenge bana bali chu mai wao ufunga kwenda mai wao
Deri kushabe inacho na mimi kushabe kwesha kwati era mpita panganda padia kusamkuno tamasha cheka la kunganda kunyandi
nanizo watu ndapita banda munafete abana baba kuri je ufuna yeshe
mashumu abo mfita mabo mshoko ati abana basende ni muri basonga nde bamwe nakulishire kwa kura kuri mukamurume munandi
ndio mama nakambira
ndela ndeko banjela.
The story came to light after the two children who live with their grandmother went to Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights seeking assistance so that they can be sent back to school. During the interview with this reporter, the children disclosed that they were told to stay home and look after their sibling by their stepmother, who mistreated them, and their father, who seems to fear his current wife, did nothing. After 40 minutes of discussion, he finally agreed to send back his children to school. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Chief Mutembo of the Kaonde-speaking people in Kalumbila district have applauded government for empowering women cooperatives with solar-powered irrigation equipment in his chiefdom. The traditional leader further appealed to government to build more secondary schools in the area to enable more girls attain education as a way of reducing early marriages. He described high cases of early marriages in his chiefdom as worrisome. Chief Mutembo was speaking during the handover of the solar-powered irrigation equipment by Gender Minister Elizabeth Perry under the Agricultural Development through the Value Chain Enhancement Project held at Muyashi School in Kalumbila District. And Gender Minister Elizabeth Perry called on the beneficiaries of the irrigation equipment to utilize the opportunity in order to attract more empowerment programs from government. Nais has more.
Gender Minister Elizabeth Perry has continued empowering the women cooperatives in Northwestern Province. The minister has visited Muyashi area in Chief Mutembo's chiefdom to hand over solar-powered irrigation equipment to the two cooperatives to enable them expand their banana plantation in Kalumbila district. The minister has an appeal to make to the beneficiaries.
I want to urge the beneficiaries to be familiar with the project guidelines and use this equipment for its intended purpose. I wish to remind the beneficiaries that the equipment remains government property. Therefore, any misuse will result in being repossessed and be allocated to other cooperatives. What I mean by misusing is personalizing the equipment, not utilizing the equipment. It will not attract many equipments to come into this kingdom. Okay. All what we need is to make sure that we attract more by utilizing what you have been given.
Beneficiaries of the solar-powered irrigation systems are excited with the support.
Babuitu babingi tishobya musango no byonkabya ketwa ikinemba twakonsha kwibitambwirane namba twasanta government wetu wa PF kine ube na kuingira kaizi wetu temwate baba matebo pa kwituletera po bino bintu.
Chief Mutembo of the Kaonde-speaking people of Kalumbila district praised government for empowering his subjects. The traditional leader also appealed for more development in his chiefdom.
We are so grateful for the irrigation equipment that you are about to hand over. There's a lot more that this chiefdom is lacking. Empowerment, early marriage is one of the problems that we are having because we don't have enough secondary schools or primary schools.
Kalumbila District Commissioner Robson Carota and the host Muyashi School head teacher Regina Kalela also added their voice.
As district administration, we want to assure you, Honorable Minister, that what you are leaving us with today as a gift for this year in Mutembo Chiefdom, we shall make sure that we support our farmers.
We have lined up a lot of projects on our list, but we are failing because of capital. So as you empower the women, we are also appealing to that empower our girls and boys. They are the future women and men of this country.
The Gender Minister has since concluded a visit in Northwestern Province. Kripach Tuta reporting in Kalumbila District, Northwestern Province.
The Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia has welcomed steps taken by the Minister of Health, Jonas Chanda, in the quest to improve the country's health system. In a statement to the media, Society President Kennedy Saini says a transition of Medical Stores Limited to Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, as announced yesterday, was long overdue. With this important development, the Society hopes that this move will ensure that procurement of only safe, quality and efficacious medicines and medical supplies and ultimately lead to enhanced efficiency and ensuring value for money. The Society has meanwhile urged the Minister of Health, Jonas Chanda, to ensure that the recruitment of substantive CEO for every important institution, namely ZAMRA and ZAMSA, is done in the most transparent and ethical manner in order to ensure merit selection of competent pharmacists. In other news, Health Minister Dr. Jonas Chanda says government has commenced engagement efforts with various stakeholders regarding the COVID-19 vaccine acquisition and deployment preparations. The Health Minister says the local private sector have shown keen interest, with a number of institutions having come forward to offer their support. Dr. Chanda has since assured the country that only effective and safe vaccines will be recommended to Cabinet for consideration and approval in the transparent and accountable manner. The minister, however, says he has observed a high number of COVID-19 facility admissions and mortalities on the Copperbelt and in Central Province. Meanwhile, the country has recorded 1,000 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours out of 8,127 tests conducted. 11 deaths have since been recorded from 5 provinces, with Copperbelt recording 5 deaths. In other news, the Labour Commissioner, Givens Montengwa, says the minimum wage and conditions of employment for truck and bus drivers Order 2020 does not apply to unionized drivers. In a statement issued to the media, Mr. Montengwa, however, says unionized employees do not fall within the vulnerable class of employees envisaged under the law, thereby not privileged to the offer. According to the law, the Minimum Wages and Conditions of Employment Act generally applies to those areas which are outside the scope of collective bargaining or where the trade unions do not exist. Mr. Montengwa says his ministry has of late received complaints from drivers that employers in the transport sector have refused, failed or neglected to implement the provisions of the new minimum wage and conditions of employment for truck and bus drivers. He says the wages and other benefits which were already enjoyed by the drivers before the issuance of the statutory instrument must not be reduced as such, a reduction in an adverse variation which amounts to the declaration of an employee redundant. The Commissioner has since reminded all employers to steer away from any collision with the law, as any contravention of the law may potentially injure businesses. You're watching Camnet News. Just now we take another set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
We all miss the days we would play outside, go to school and visit fun places. But now, we all have to take care to prevent the coronavirus. Viruses are really tiny particles that we can't see with just our eyes, so we need to keep ourselves safe by practicing good hygiene, such as washing our hands with soap and clean water regularly. We can also use hand sanitizer to keep our hands clean. It's also important for us to keep our bodies and surroundings clean. We must also avoid handshakes, hugs, and standing close to other people in public places. This is called social distancing. The coronavirus has affected millions of people around the world, so we need to stay safe. In the meantime, we can keep ourselves busy by reading a book, watching TV, and doing some schoolwork. There's so much we can do indoors. Stay safe, stay home, and prevent COVID-19. We're all in this together.
This advert is sponsored by the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. You're watching Camnet News. We now look at international stories. Attacks by armed group in the northwest Nigeria have worsened as an already high level of poverty in the region, with more than 1,000 people killed in attacks on rural communities. 2020 quickly became one of the worst region's violent years. The Nigeria's military air and ground offensive in the region have not stopped the attacks on poor rural communities. They are most severe in 4 of the 7 states in the northwest that share common boundaries with Niger. Experts warn that unless they are stopped, the entire region risks descending into chaos. In other news, South Africa has approved the use of a controversial drug to treat COVID-19 patients in emergency situations. Ivermectin has grown in popularity, but its unregulated use has raised concerns about its sale on the black market. Here's a roundup.
Mahmoud surveys what's left of his $2 million investment. For 7 years, he says he worked hard to get his 150-hectare farm running. Then one night, armed men arrived and left it in ruins.
They came into the farm after the harvest of the year, cutted almost all the product that we have had, included the animals, the chickens, everything, including the machines and even seeds. Ordinary seeds that we kept for further replication were taken away by them.
After that, he says, they torched the farm, reducing the orchard and the bee section to ashes. He may have lost his farm, but not the passion.
We can definitely have something.
He's starting a smaller one, 10 kilometers away from the relative safety of Sokoto City.
But there are thousands of others here in Sokoto State who can neither go back to their farms nor have the capital to start anew. Officials say the gunmen have raided cattle, robbed families, and kidnapped hundreds for ransom that some families are forced to borrow or even sell off their assets to pay.
Economists say attacks like these are accelerating poverty at a rate never seen before in Nigeria.
It takes a very long time for them to acquire these assets and be able to be where they are. And overnight, these destructions might happen in a very short time, but it takes a lot of time to recover. These assets also are being sold up to take care of themselves and also to veil some of their family members who have been kidnapped by this kind of rampage that is going on.
The Bureau of Statistics says 3 of Nigeria's 10 most poorest states are in the northwest, a region blighted by these attacks. The poverty level averages a staggering 85%. The attacks are also affecting the delivery of services as revenues fall.
That affects the capacity of a leader to govern well, to think well, to plan well. Secondly, resources-wise, we know all of the situation in the country, in particular in the north and in Sokoto State. The resources are very limited and there are competing demands. Then suddenly you have insecurity, which requires a lot of funding. So it drains the little resources that you have that ordinarily you should deploy for development. The dry season farming, which supports our farmers, which supports our economy, is having some challenges because farmers on their farmland are being threatened.
Traders in markets across the region say sales are down because people cannot afford items as basic as food. The Nigerian military's air and ground offensive in the region has not stopped the attacks on poor rural communities. They are most severe in 4 states of the northwest that share common boundaries with Niger. Experts warn that unless they are stopped, the entire region risks descending into anarchy.
Sarah, who doesn't want to use her real name, was diagnosed with COVID-19 and pneumonia in January. She was admitted to hospital when she could not breathe properly, and without the hospital's knowledge, began using a drug called ivermectin.
They organized the ivermectin for me, and then it had to be basically smuggled into the hospital, which I felt is so unjust because this is something that's going to help people. It's something that people need. It's something that it shouldn't be seen as a criminal event for you to try and save your loved one. You know, at that point when you at the point of death, you will do anything.
Sarah is so convinced the drug saved her life, she also gave it to her parents, who had also tested positive for COVID-19. They all used the drug without medical supervision. Ivermectin is not registered in South Africa for human consumption. Until now, it's been used to treat animals for things like parasites. But its popularity and illegal use has forced South Africa's Health Products Authority to allow what it's calling controlled use of the medicine, and in this way monitor its use.
Think about it. It's an 8-page form which you have to fill in online each time you have a patient. It takes an hour to fill in the form.
The requirements to use ivermectin have since been relaxed. Now doctors can use the drug on COVID-19 patients while they wait for approval. But there are concerns the regulations and delays will only fuel the black market rather than control the drug's use. This is the second police bust of ivermectin tablets being smuggled into South Africa in recent weeks. Here, more than 300,000 tablets were brought in illegally from abroad. Authorities are worried the unregulated use of ivermectin could lead to an overdose and say there's no clear evidence the drug works.
Their biggest concern is the unauthorized use and the fact that there's been a growing black market through which the drug is imported. And the concern here is that ivermectin is not necessarily safe to use.
Overdosing on the drug can cause blindness, neurological effects and liver damage. Globally, at least 5 countries want to use ivermectin to treat COVID-19, including India and Argentina. South Africa plans to begin clinical trials on the effectiveness of ivermectin to treat COVID-19. But that may be of little interest to those desperate to get their hands on the drug, which they believe saves lives.
We now look at sports news. Zambia is making her 5th appearance since 1996 in the Paralympic Games by participating in the forthcoming Games scheduled for Tokyo in August and September 2021, National Paralympic Committee Zambia General Secretary Moses Chishemba says the Games will present its opportunity for the para-athletes to go through qualification competitions. Mr. Chishemba is confident of recording wins with the advantage of an already qualified athlete named Monica Monga, who is participating.
Paralympic Games are games that are run by the International Paralympic Committee, to which all NPCs around the world affiliate, and Zambia being an affiliate of the IPC has an opportunity to participate in the Tokyo Games. So this year Zambia has a para-athlete in para-athletics that has already qualified to the Tokyo Games, and because of the difficult situation in the year, we've not had qualification opportunities, but this year Dubai is offering an opportunity, and we are sending two athletes to that tournament so that they can make the grade for Tokyo. The athletes are Monica Munga and Lasam Katongo.
As I'm a qualifier for Tokyo 2020, I'm very happy to qualify. And also, you know, here in Zambia, there's a hindrance for us women. So it's very happy for me to participate in sports. As women in Zambia, we are not given the opportunities. They were saying only men who can do that, not women. But now we are there participating as women. So let's stand up and show them that we are here and we can even do it more than them. So I'm very happy, and I'm even your example. I'm participating in sports and I've already qualified for Tokyo 2020. I'm very sure I'll bring back the medals.
The fears of appearing on a camera, you have to start all over again and record it once again. Well, that item ends our news tonight. Let's just look at the headlines once again. UPND members scared to challenge HH as he goes unopposed for the presidential bid. Nothing's changed about Zambia's Eurobond default, charges EDITH NAWAKWI. ZEMA launches investigations into the illegal medical waste disposal in Chilenge. And in international news, violent attacks devastate farms in northwest Nigeria. In sports news, athletes leave for Tokyo Paralympic Sports in Dubai. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Isaiah 41:10, and it reads, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold on to you with my righteous right hand." Thank you so much for joining us on our desk tonight. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Remember to always observe the COVID-19 health measures that have been put in place and stop the spread of the virus. Good night. Thanks for watching once again.